Sup guys, welcome back. Today's video, I've got music in the background. It's royalty free, but I finally have music, so I hope you appreciate it. Today's video is gonna be talking about, oh my god, my tattoo is itchy. Is that bad? Do I need to get this fixed? Today, I will be talking about recruiters and what they're gonna try and do to make you join and the things that you should know before talking to a recruiter. So, 5 tips that I'm gonna be giving you today are in order. Actually, I'm not even gonna read them out. I'm just gonna do it one by one. So there's 5 tips. First one is they have a quota for a certain amount of jobs, and they will not work hard to delve into which one will suit you best. Yeah. So I was infantry, and if you guys didn't know, I'm 5'4". When I joined, I was like 125 pounds. I was a whole lot of nothing. And if you know anything about infantry, especially Marine infantry, it isn't meant for small guys. It's not meant for small guys. But I went into a recruiter's office and I was so sold by all the recruiter videos, and I was so sold by the Marines and the whole infantry aspect of the Marines since I was 5 years old that when I walked in there, I was like, yeah, I was really thinking about doing infantry, and like that seems to be the thing that I really want to do. They're like, okay, you know what? I don't want to ruin this guy's like whole vision of the Marine Corps. I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's a great idea. So they're gonna go and sell you on that. And they didn't even bat an eye when I said infantry. They're like, oh yeah, sweet, okay. Like, yeah, infantry's gonna be an awesome thing. It's really fun. You're gonna be able to kill people, and yeah, it's you'd totally be able to fit it. And you gotta look out for yourself because you gotta really try. I would try and ask the recruiter some questions, like, oh, what's your experience with infantry? What did you do in your job? I would ask him questions, kind of like a job interview. It's the same thing, like try and ask the recruiter some questions, try and get something out of him instead of him just selling you a bunch of things, so you can end up getting the best fit for yourself. Now, before I go even further, or any further at all, I do want to go and explain to you guys that Marine recruiters or military recruiters in general, which this video is for, any military recruiter, they are good people. They have a job, and I'm not saying that every recruiter is like this. I'm just saying that in my experience, this is what I saw. And I've got a buddy that's joined the Air Force. I've got a lot of friends who had similar experiences. So I'm not saying anything's bad about recruiters. I'm just saying they have a job, and this is what you got to look out for when enlisting, because it can be a very impactful time of your life, believe me. So anyway, second tip: the recruiter will be as friendly as possible, and which is actually really strange because he's a sergeant, and when you hit the fleet or when you go to boot camp, sergeants are going to be your worst enemies. So right off the bat, from a military perspective, it's a red flag. A sergeant's being nice to you, there's something fishy about it. This guy's going to be a sergeant all the way up to a gunny, which is, at least in the Marine Corps, 2 ranks higher. These guys are not meant to be nice, and the only reason that they're nice is because they were doing their job before recruiters, and they were swearing like sailors. They were beating people up. They're getting drunk in the barracks. They were just being mean to their people below them, and then they were offered a job to go and be a recruiter, and they were like, okay, yeah, hell yeah, I can stay in the rear and I don't have to do much work. Yeah, these are the people that are becoming recruiters. This is okay. For granted, this is what the Marine culture is, at least for the Marines. Marine culture is exactly what I just described. So when you see a sergeant who's in a recruiter position, he's happy being there, and it's a very skate job. It's very easy. So keep in mind that he's just being as friendly as possible, so that you feel buddy. You feel like you can talk to him, and he's talking to you, and you're like almost part of the Corps, and you guys are friends, and they'll text you, and they'll come to your parties and your graduation parties, and they're gonna try and really be nice to you, which, you know what, I think is a good thing. But again, you got to be weary of that stuff. I wouldn't say keep away from the sergeants and stuff, but I wouldn't also say embrace it and feel like, yeah, this guy really is in for my best needs, which sometimes isn't the case. So the third tip, we're already halfway through, he will blow the jobs out of proportion, so you stay sold on it. So just like I was explaining, when I joined, or when I went into the recruiter office, I remember he called me up, and it was a random day, and he was like, all right, have you ever thought about joining the Marines? And I'm, if you guys saw my last video, I wanted to join the Marines since I was 5 years old. So it was very obvious. I was like, oh my God, I've been wanting to talk to you forever, Obviously I wasn't like that, but that's basically how I must have sounded. And he's like, all right, like, you got 25 minutes to be down in my recruiter office. You know where we're located. I'm like, yeah, okay. Be there in 25. And, it took me 20 minutes to drive there. So I just got ready real quick. I was like, Mom, I'm going to recruiters. She's like, what the yeah, so I drove to the recruiter's office, and it was very fast-paced. And right off the bat, they're going to be like, okay, what do you think about the Marine Corps? Like, what's everything? And I was already sold on it. So he didn't have to do any selling. He's still going to try to. But he's like, you can already, he had it very easy with me, honestly. But the recruiters, whatever branch it is, they're going to try and sell you on it, whatever job that you're already sold on or what you're thinking you want to do. There's a lot of people go and are like, oh yeah, I want to do special forces. And, I can totally see a recruiter saying, yeah, you can't do special forces right off the bat, but you can do this job, and this is going to, get you trained for it. You're going to be good to go as soon as you want to do it, as soon as you get to become a special forces Marine once you're in the unit and stuff. And, which is just, again, blown out of proportion. So you gotta stay weary about that stuff. Fourth tip, he's going to exaggerate his own experiences, and he's purposely going to keep the bad ones out. So I remember specifically, I'm not going to say his name, and but I remember my sergeant that recruited me. For one of them, what he did, I don't even know what job he was. I think he was like a combat engineer, something like that. But basically, with combat engineers, they usually, honestly, stay in the rear, and they just build a bunch of huts and stuff, build a bunch of things, bridges, whatever it is. But he exaggerated his experiences where he's like, yeah, I got to ride in a helicopter, and I remember I took off the safety. He was telling me this story, and I swear to God, I swear on my life, he told me this. He was like, yeah, I took off the the strap from my helicopter, and I had my legs dangling out of it, and all the pilots were looking at me, and all the crewmen were like, what are you doing, man? You're crazy. You're gonna die. And I was like, yeah, fuck you. I do what I want. I'm badass. And that's literally what he was talking about. He also talked about, and this is another story, I swear to God he told me, he was running on the perimeter of this compound that he was running in like Iraq or something. He started getting shot at, and he was like, I don't even care. And there was like, he was running across there, and he was getting shot at. He doesn't even have a combat action ribbon. The more it's just silly. It's out of proportion. He's gonna lie about his experiences, trying to act like he's really badass. Obviously, he was trying to feed it to me since I want to go infantry and I want to shoot and kill and everything. So he was like, yeah, like, man, this is what happened. I was running on perimeter and this happened. I was riding in a helicopter and I let my legs dangle. And in real life, what are the Marines gonna do? They're gonna be like, get the fuck back into your seat or I'm gonna push you out. Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, that's not even something that you are allowed to do. You're gonna get NJP'd. You're gonna get, like, punished if you do something like that. That's not something that's allowed. So, again, and also keep the bad experiences out. There was one recruiter, he actually got kicked out because he was talking to a lady who was a poolie, but that's besides the point. I guess that's another tip for you girls. Don't talk to the boy recruiters. Don't get their Snapchats. Don't do it. But anyway, this guy, he was infantry, and that's the reason he got into all this trouble, I'll be honest. But yeah, so he was infantry, and he was the only honest one. He was like, yeah, like, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It's gonna suck. You infantry guys, come over here. It's gonna suck. You're gonna be sitting on your pack. It's gonna be raining. You're gonna be freezing. You're gonna be shaking your arms like this. And you're gonna be in this, you're gonna be standing watch or whatever with your rifle, your cold metal up against you, and you're gonna be thinking, I hate my life. He was honest to us, and we were kind of afraid, but we were too sold on the fact that we were going infantry and we were gonna be able to kill, and we were already too sold at that point. But that guy was honest to us, so obviously there are some good ones out of the bunch, but most of them are gonna keep the bad stuff out. So obviously the guy who was telling me about the helicopter and all this, he didn't tell me about all the paperwork, being a combat engineer. How much paperwork do you think you have to do? Especially as a sergeant? A sergeant who's a pogue, his job is to wake up in the morning, do PT, and do paperwork. That is his job. That is his job, guys. All right, so if you're okay, if you guys didn't know what a pogue is, it's a person other than grunt, somebody other than infantry. Their job is going to be anything from supply to trucks to keeping, managing tanks, or like keeping in charge of large amounts of people, or helicopters, maintenance crews, whatever it is. Most of their job is paperwork. Most of their job is that. So if you're thinking about doing any other branch other than Marines or Army, you're gonna be doing paperwork most of the time. So keep that in mind. Anyway, I got sidetracked, but we're almost done here. The fifth point is he will use your weaknesses to your advantage. And I put in parentheses the wooden sticks, because the first day that I got into the recruiter's office, my recruiter, he ends up taking out 20 of these wooden sticks, and he put them all out, about the length of my finger. And he put them all out, and each of them had a word: integrity, character, discipline, comfort, finances, college, like just a bunch of words, even like grit, discipline, confidence. Just a bunch of words of like obviously things that he's about to sell me on. So he was like, all right, what do you think? Pick the top 3 things that you think that you can bring to the Corps, the military. And I was like, I think disciplined, and I ended up picking 3 of them, and I put them out, and he was like, yeah, so you see yourself as that? I'll tell you what, that's gonna be a great fit. You're gonna be an awesome person if you have grit and you're determined. Like that's already, that you're already ahead of the game, man. You're gonna do awesome. And then he's gonna be like, what do you want 3 things from the Marine Corps? And I was like, oh, confidence, I wanted finance, I wanted, I picked a couple more things. And I put him out, and then he just sold me on it. And again, like, this is something so you're interactive with it, and I see the ploy here, but I mean, honestly, I would say it was actually pretty fun. Everybody likes talking about themselves and what they want to do and how they can be benefited and stuff, but it definitely is something that they're going to use against you, because I remember, like, infantry, right? I was an infantry Marine. I'm 5'4", 125 pounds when I enlisted. I'm a tiny guy. I was not supposed to be in infantry, but I was so sold on it, and I told them so much about why I wanted to do it, and they're like, you know what, let's do infantry. You're going to be an awesome infantry Marine. But the truth is, they have a quota, they have a certain amount of jobs, and again, I was talking about this earlier, they have a certain amount of jobs that they're given. So they have like, oh, there's 3 infantry for this month, there's 3 infantry slots, so you can put 3 people in infantry, and you have to fill it. There's one for counterintelligence, there's one for security forces, there's one for a tank driver, and it's going to go on and on and on. And what he's going to do is if you're already sold on infantry, it's going to be like, sweet, like I can just mark that down nice and easy. Infantry slot, boom, now there's only 2, and you're infantry, and he's going to be like, and whenever you ask questions about like, oh, like, do you think this is going to be the best fit for me? Like, what do you think about hiking? Like, things like that. He's going to be like, yeah, you're going to be fine, dude, you're going to be fine. Like, they don't care. They're just trying to get bodies out there. The recruiter's job isn't to go and train you. Their job is to go and put numbers on a piece of paper and to send you out to boot camp, and then his job is finished. So, look, you gotta go and do the research yourself. You gotta listen to people like me. You gotta listen to other veterans and other military personnel. Get the best advice out there. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I think I'm done. I already said all 5 points. Again, I'm not trying to, bang on any recruiters. I'm not trying to say they're bad. A lot of them, like the one I was talking about that was infantry, they're good, all right? They're honestly good people that are just trying to help. But there are some that are going to go and use every recruiter tactic so that to their ability, even if it's a little sketchy, so that they can get ranked up. So keep in mind that, and this goes for any military. Again, my buddy's joining the Air Force. He's got similar experiences with this, talking to a recruiter. He's talked to a Marine recruiter, and he's talked to an Air Force recruiter. Same shit. So, yeah, I think this is the best 5 tips I could give you guys. If you want to see more, leave in the comments. Ask your questions. I do questions pretty much every other day. I answer your questions from the comments. So, leave a comment. Subscribe, like if you enjoyed it, dislike if you didn't, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.